somebody affiliated with PragerU. And I go as far as Los Angeles. Just yesterday, the Prager Force member, that's our 19,000 strong young people organization, was in Britain today. He is in Los Angeles. He is Ryan Bowdre. Ryan, did I pronounce your last name correctly?
You sure did, actually. You had it perfect. Ryan Bowdre. That's right.
Well, 1 minute. I'm debating, do I give credit to my engineer or not? And I won't. The fact that he told me that it was Bowdre should be irrelevant because I accepted his suggestion. So I should get all the credit.
There you go.
There you
Granted.
go. Exactly. Ryan, it's a pleasure to meet you. You are on the older side of Prager Force members. You're 31, you told me.
I sure am, yes, sir. 31 years old, so I think definitely on the older side, but, I'm here to support.
That's really nice. So how did you discover PragerU?
Yeah, so I discovered PragerU really by happenstance. I'm pretty heavy on social media, and I think in the past maybe like 4 or 5 years, I started, getting on Instagram a little bit more, and then I just ran into some PragerU videos really by accident. But I was intrigued by them, and I started to look at a few of them. And specifically, I was drawn to one of you guys' people of interest, Amala. She had a story where she talked about her upbringing and how she came over to, more of the conservative values and things like that. And it really, spoke to my heart, it spoke to my own journey. And then from there, I started looking at more of the videos. And then now here I am, Prager Force member, and, very strong for the cause.
Well, that really does my heart good. Amala Epunobi is a remarkable young woman. For those of you who don't know, she's actually sat in for me. Not only been on the show, she has sat in for me. Yes, Ryan. She's an amazing young woman. She has a BLM tattoo on her arm.
Yep.
That is how far she has traveled morally and philosophically, and in large measure because of PragerU. Of course, the credit goes entirely to the individual, but we have to spark something. So you discovered us, and then when did you join Prager Force?
So I actually joined Prager Force this year. I think about maybe a month or a month and a half ago. There was an event that was happening here in SoCal, and I wanted to go, and then I found out that you had to be a Prager Force member. So I said, oh man, I really want to become a member anyways, and especially for this event that's coming up. So how do I do this? Went online, registered, and thankfully the folks over at Prager Force signed me up, pretty quickly within the day. So then I was able to come on over and enjoy the event.
You had a good time?
It was an incredible time. Really, Dennis, there's nothing like being in a space full of, just very strong, passionate patriots, you know what I mean, especially in today's day and age. And, me being in Los Angeles, right, I've lived here for about 31 years now, all my life. And, I'm not too fond of it anymore, especially with kind of what I've learned about, conservative values versus liberal and things like that. LA is a pretty I would say anti-conservative space in a lot of ways. And so, being able to go to an event where I can have, fellowship with other like-minded individuals who are conservative and who are patriots, who love this country, and we can, just talk and share ideas and share struggles and things like that. Really, it was a wonderful time. And I'm very, very grateful for Prager Force for putting on that event and, just having a good time for us.
Were you ever on the left?
Yes, sir, I was. I absolutely was. So that's why I said I did kind of feel towards Amala's story. I would say that I grew up pretty force-fed Democratic ideologies and things like that, victimhood, victim mentality, that kind of thing. As a black man, I was expected to think a certain way, act a certain way, and vote a certain way. And actually, it wasn't until, it was the election of Trump, where, since it was so just like, so many passions on both sides, I finally, started to look into some of the things that I believed, right? And at the time I became a Christian. So looking at my Christian principles, my Christian values, I just started to, notice that they lined up a lot closer to conservative values. And so from there, I just started to dig a little bit more. I started to do some research. I, thought about the idea of personal responsibility, right, accountability, things like that. And then slowly but very surely, I came over to the conservative side.
All right, I want to continue with this. This is, folks, this is what we mean. Please go to prageru.com. And also, a very fast reminder about the great product, Relief Factor, if you have any joint or muscle pain. Try it for 3 weeks for $19.95. Everybody, a true month for PragerU is to speak to young people, sometimes older people, but usually young people, each day at some point in my 3 hours, who are affiliated or been affected by or both PragerU. We have a 19,000 member Prager force around the world. Yesterday I spoke to a young English member from Manchester in England. Today, Ryan Bowdre, Bowdre, is a member of Prager Force, and he is 31, on the older side of Prager Force members, and I asked him about his own evolution toward conservatism. So you mentioned a number of things. PragerU was one of them. Obviously, becoming a Christian was another.
Yes.
Which makes perfect sense because Judeo-Christian values are the antithesis of leftist values.
Absolutely.
In virtually every arena.
Mm-hmm. The
Pope, even, who is on the left, has come out and saying a man cannot be a woman. He just announced that. It's ironic. The Pope tells scientific truth and scientists tell religious falsehoods because
right.
they are a religion. So I always ask black conservatives this question: how has your family reacted to you?
You know what, Dennis? Not well, unfortunately. There has been a lot of pushback. There has been, just some tough conversations and some tough times. I feel like I've been ostracized and othered in a lot of ways. Really, there's only maybe about 2 or 3 other conservatives in my family that I know of. I have a very big family. So extended family, there's a couple of us there, but, certainly in my immediate family and even my step family, I am the only one. Everyone else is pretty far left. So it has not been easy. It's been some tough times.
Right. I suspected such is why I asked you, and I salute you even more so for it because you're paying a price.
Right.
There's no question. So I am curious. I really am curious. I don't know the answer to this question. Sometimes I have an answer in mind when I ask, but I don't have now. I don't know what your answer is. Do the great majority of your family, extended family, believe that whites are all racist?
Wow. You know what? To answer shortly, in a lot of ways, yes. There is a very high amount of anti-white racism in my family, and it really doesn't make any sense. And honestly, it breaks my heart. But yeah, there are very strong elements of that in my family.
Did you tell any of them that you went to a Prager Force meeting and met a lot of nice people, most of whom were white?
I did not. I told my sister. She's the only one I told because her and I have been becoming a little bit closer and more honest with each other with these things. But no, I did not want to tell most of my family because I knew it would not have gone on well.
Would you say, in this case, I do suppose an answer, but I still want you to give the truth and not what you think I want to hear.
Sure.
Would you say that you are happier than most of your relatives?
It certainly seems that way, yes. I would say that, becoming a conservative has really just given me a lot of freedom. The biggest thing holding me back and what actually still holds back a lot of my family members is, again, that victimhood mentality, thinking that the world is out to get you, thinking that this country is out to get you, thinking that, white people are always going to be trying to put you down and things like that. And the police are out to get you. And there's all these programs that are, against you, things like that. And for me, escaping that mentality has been an amazing thing for me. Right, I'm not a victim, and it's also partly towards my faith where I've come to this realization. But yeah, it's been difficult, and I would certainly say that I am in a much happier place, and seemingly so much happier than a lot of my siblings and my family. Yeah.
You're a special guy, Ryan. I'm very, very happy to make your acquaintance. Do you know, you wouldn't know, so I'll just tell you, one of my books is on happiness. It's a very important subject to me, because as I say, the happy make the world better, the unhappy make it worse. I actually have a chapter, and the book is completely apolitical. I have a chapter on victimhood, that if you think you are a victim, if that is a primary identity, it is not possible to be a happy person.
Wow.
Well, you're living it. You are living the truth of that thesis of mine.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
I don't want to. I don't want to in any way cause a bigger rift in your family. Believe me.
Please.
But
Please.
I thank you. But I want you to know that part of what they are annoyed about with regard to you is not only your changed politics and values and so on, but the unhappy, who are often unhappy for either psychological or even social reasons, because again,
Right.
if you're told you're a victim, you will become unhappier.
Yep.
They resent your happiness. I just want you to know that. It may not have been something you yourself have thought through, but I want you to know that. If you were as miserable as they, if you were as angry at the world as they would love you more.
Yes. Honestly, Dennis, like just to that point, I have seen that in real time. When I speak about me being happy in this country and wanting to serve my country, being proud of where I'm from, and I talk about certain values and principles, they get upset. They feel like I need to be angry. They feel like I need to,
That's right.
share that resentment towards white
That's
people,
exactly right.
towards America, things like that.
Ryan, you've made a really big impact on me. I am very happy to know you, and I would like to do this again.
Yes.
You're a joy, and a credit to yourself and to PragerU and to Christianity. God bless you, my friend. We will meet again.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Dennis. It was a pleasure. See you next time.
Please help PragerU. Well, I'll tell you this. I know this